That's how we start.
So, this past week, a lot of interesting stuff happened. Now, Mitch, for the better part of the last forever, you've been saying there's no way Sony is stupid as hell to go on and produce an actual spin-off movie to Spider-Man not featuring Spider-Man or not part of the MCU. Well, turns out you're correct, because Amy Pascal, the woman in charge of Spider-Man and the Sony deal, goes out and says it's all part of the same universe. They're just adjuncts to the Spider-Man movie. Now, what people don't understand is, if you look up the definition, what an adjunct is, it's a piece that's not important to the overall story. So, yeah, that would be what these movies are. It's kind of like, it makes sense.
They're essentially...
Yeah, exactly.
They're the daredevil to the overall, the overarching story. So. But will it be addressed? Will he even mention it in other films? But possible.
Well, I guess one of the things that came out of this was, what is it, surprise Feige? Is that what it is? Is that what people are going with? Like, that is this a surprise? It's not sad Feige, because clearly...
I've just seen sad Feige, because obviously sad after.
Yep.
Oh, is this? Oh, okay. Because I've been just assuming that it's like called surprised Feige, just because.
I mean, it could be, but I haven't.
Oh, that video I made on our channel fucking took off like crazy.
It's like that one. There's a meme that went around before about this white guy who was just like, it's important that he's white, because like that's how you know, like, specifics. It's like, it says white guy and he's blinking and he's like, "What'd you say?" And
Yeah.
he's blinking.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly what that meme is called, but
that's Danny O'Dwyer from Giant Bomb, which is a video gaming podcast. I've seen that video just because I was like, I need to figure this out. And I used to listen to that guy do interviews, so I know who it is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like something similar to what happened with Feige, but hey, it was bound to happen, right?
So
to everybody, in terms of that.
Here's the big thing.
Apparently not to him, because he didn't even know what was going to happen.
Oh,
nobody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Here's how I'm seeing this. Oh. San Diego has announced that, Marvel's going to be there. Marvel's announced they're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. And honestly, I think they were going for the whole big effect of, hey, Infinity War, look at all of these actors we're going to have on stage. Like, remember when Days of Future Past did that and they had both generations, and it was like literally every news outlet, like even freaking CNN was talking about how big it was. They're going to pull that off with the Avengers. Now, my guess is Kevin was going to be on stage and be like, oh, but have we told you that Tom Hardy will also be a part of this? Then he joins in, and it's like, oh shit. Like, I think that's the effect they were going for, and she just spoiled it because she's so hyped about it, right? Like,
I would agree, but they don't talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I think they will this year, though, because it's going to be a huge success, and you could just tell that Spider-Man is a big, major part of the MCU going forward. So,
I mean, they could very well do. It's just I can't remember. There was something I can't remember what it was, but people were like, "Oh, where's Spider-Man?" It's just like, "Oh, it's a Sony's production. It's not technically theirs." But...
It's got to be a part of it now. Like, there's no way they don't bring it. And also, like, if you're gonna have Venom, and now it's part of that universe, does this more or less not confirm that the black suit or the symbiote has to appear somewhere in Infinity War?
Well, when's Venom coming
next
out?
October.
Is it up? So it's after Infinity War. I suppose it kind of has to at this point. That's if they go the alien.
I mean, I have a video that I'm like, because I've been doing it because people want to, like, oh, how would you introduce this? And like, I made one of how I shot it like 3 weeks ago. I just forgot to render it because So like, I just talk about it. I'm like, it's the smartest thing to introduce it, or maybe even give the black suit to Spidey in Infinity War, and then he kind of takes it off, or just like a piece of it sticks with them while they're, coming back to Earth and takes off. Because if he's part of the MCU, it's got to get on Spidey at some point, and it's got to get off of him and get on to Venom. So it's
whoever is going to be Venom.
So.
Well, it's not going to be Flash Thompson, because Flash Thompson's a little Indian kid.
This is true. So I'm assuming it's going to be Eddie Brock in.
So unless that Indian kid was up to be Tom Hardy, then.
So are they going to Bolivar Trask the shit out of this one?
I keep forgetting that it is that kid who's going to be Flash. I keep thinking like Flash is from like the Amazing Spider-Man, like that one.
Yeah.
And then but. I don't really think anybody. I mean, maybe there's some people that are excited for this. I guess if you're probably don't know any better, I would say you're probably excited because
I think it justifies it a bit more. It's kind of like before. It's like, well, what reason does this movie have for?
It's true. This is true.
It's actually got a purpose to play, and it's part of a bigger world, so they can actually, you could bring Tom Hardy in other movies. You could have the Avengers go again.
It's still Tom Hardy too, right? I mean, he's a great actor.
Well,
so
being realistic, if you were to release an Ant-Man movie and it wasn't connected to the MCU and it was its own thing, I guarantee you the movie would not be as big of a success. So, like, the MCU brand now can sell you everything because people want it. I mean, you have to look at them like something like Iron Fist. It doesn't matter if it's getting trashed. People are going to turn to it because it's the MCU and they need that next piece of content. Hell, I'm still shocked that my dad, like, he watched Daredevil Season 1 and he was like, oh, this is pretty damn good. I like this. And I was like, oh, you know how they mention these little things? He was like, yeah, what's that about? I was like, remember the incident? That's what they're talking about in New York and Avengers? He was like, really? So I told him, yeah. And over the next couple weeks, he literally went and watched everything chronologically. He was like, all right, I'm caught up. When's Spider-Man? I was like, what the hell? Like it's that type of mentality that's turning people. You have to see the next piece of content because you want to know where it goes. You put Venom and Silver and Black into the same continuity, it guarantees you that the movie's probably going to do like, what, 20, 30, 40% more than it would have if it's standalone. So honestly, Sony was smart, and I think they outed this by accident from excitement, and you could tell it's kind of like, damn, we didn't want this getting out there because, right now, the MCU, technically you're going to be looking at, like, what, 5-6 movies a year now between Sony and this in, like, 2 years? That's kind of getting ridiculous,
Yeah. Also, the MCU now belongs to the Tom H's. It was the Chris's, but the Tom H's.
Yeah.
No.
Tom Holland, Tom Hardy. Oh yeah.
And they're all British.
Wait, who's another? Is there another Tom? Or
Tom
is that
Hiddleston.
just
Well, I can't wait for that.
Whoa.
Black. I was just saying, I just can't wait for the Black Cat scene where she throws up after kissing Peter Parker when he knows that he's still high school.
That's gonna be so good.
What? Like somebody has to like do this conspiracy theory about it, about the Chris's and the Tom H's. There has to be a conspiracy theory out there. Something like you said, Tom Hardy, Tom Hiddleston. I forgot.
Should we just start searching who's an up and coming actor with those initials and figure out where they're going to be cast?
Exactly. I mean, you got to think ahead. You got to forecast.
Well, also I made this video because like my wife Shan and I, we were talking about. She's a huge Black Cat fan. Like she reads everything Black Cat, and we were talking about this, and she's like, well, and we came up with this theory that Black Cat or Silver Sable, that whole movie, that's not meant to rival with Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman. We're pretty positive that movie is going to be pitched as a female Suicide Squad with sex appeal because they don't have that movie for Marvel yet. So it's like you put Black Cat in there with all that tight leather, you put Silver Sable in there with all that tight white leather. It's like, oh, okay, that's the sex appeal movie that they don't have yet for the, raging Fast and Furious crowd that needs a boner, from, like, skin showing.
Hey, Fast and Furious is not all sex appeal.
Oh, come on!
It's some.
Whoa,
let's just call it...
depends what side of the fence you're swinging for.
It's true.
It's all about that.
I'm just saying, let's put it out there for, like, the edgy... teens or whatever. They need the sex appeal and whatnot. Fast and Furious is not all sex appeal. That's what I'm saying. I just to defend Fast and Furious. I just wanted to say that. But I mean, you make a lot of sense with that, saying that they need. It won't necessarily be rated R. Possibly, it doesn't need to be, but it'll have that feel.
Well, I don't think
is.
that one is going to be rated R. I think so far only Venom is.
None of them really have to be, but they can still feel.
Oh no, but I'm just saying. I don't think that one is. I think that's touted as the PG-13.
Yeah, but it'll still have that feel of rated R if you have the sex appeal type thing, but it won't be. It'll just have that feel like Suicide Squad had that feel. Even that wasn't rated R. Yeah, but that had that feel and it wasn't rated R. So I'm saying like you'll have that kind of. I mean, edgy, I guess is the best way to say it, but yeah.
I mean, when you look at the MCU as a whole, every movie is trying to cater to a different type of genre. Captain America is going the more political route, Iron Man the tech route, Thor with the more fantastical route, the Avengers, the team-up movie uniting it all, that's like, you know, the big group thing. Guardians is pitched as a more kid-friendly movie, so it's like, they're missing that woman empowerment movie, which they're doing with Captain Marvel. They're missing the super sex appeal movie, which I think Silver and Black can occupy. And they're missing the rated R route, which I think Venom will occupy now. So they have the high school movie coming out with, you know, Spider-Man. Like, so they're going to cover every genre in the long run, which I think this whole Sony deal is going to open up way more doorways to cover that. So, like, when Sinister Six, if that's still going to be, who the hell knows what that is, but if that connects to this universe, then you're going to have your, like, you know, like Reservoir Dogs style movie, I guess, you know, just random dudes. Like,
that would be, that's a good pitch for Sinister Six.
It is.
Actually. That is a really good pitch for that.
Let's hope they could pitch that.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Please, I hope Sony's listening to this. Just like, I want that movie now.
Well, that one guy, there's one guy at Sony probably listening to this. He probably doesn't work in a high position, but it doesn't matter because we
Ted the intern.
you're important. No, he's not an intern. He's like he's probably, because interns they don't have any time for us because they're basically slaves. But I'm assuming he's probably, what is it? I'm gonna not janitorial, but he's a bit up. Like he'll clean for you, but he doesn't necessarily do that. He probably, I don't know. It's just, I can't exactly think of it, but I swear there's that type. Yeah, possibly accounting, because, like, you know, he's working all smart, trying to do the finance, and he's like, you know what? I'm smart all day. I need something to to go, like, to another place, because that's what we do here. We take you to another place, like Tahiti.
Tahiti.
Except we don't kill you.
God, I mean,
they didn't kill Coulson.
That's true.
This is true.
I don't know. I'm hyped about this whole Sony deal because realistically, there was no way that they could do Spider-Man spin-offs without Spider-Man or recasting Spider-Man, because that would be the dumbest choice you could do, because no one's going to tune into that shit. And then if you're Sony and you recast Spidey, right? Then what are you telling the fans? It's like being like, oh, we have this Spidey here, but he's not cool enough to be with Venom. It's like, that's not how it works. You're just completely throwing your new Spidey under the bus to have another Spidey? Like, what?
What I want to know is what changed. Like, what was she trying to get? Because obviously she was trying to get something with and then crumble.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, I'll talk about it here. It's the podcast. So, from what I'm told, is Sony has, it's AMC, that's their TV brand, right? I believe it's AMC.
Yeah.
From what I've been told, it's that there's TV pitches all over the place. At some point about a year ago, Sony was pitching some sort of property as a TV series, with possibly AMC picking it up. I haven't heard anything since. Maybe it's fallen apart, maybe it hasn't, but maybe it's like the Fox X-Men deal, where maybe there's some sort of TV rights that aren't fully owned by Sony, and seeing how they regained the TV rights to Spider-Man for cartoon and stuff, maybe it's something like that. They were trying to get off a TV series based in the universe, and now due to this MCU thing, it's gone back to the drawing board, which is why I haven't heard about it. But I could honestly see this being a thing where there had to be some giant exchange of something happening. So, you know, it would only make sense.
Because my thought was, there's obviously a reason why they weren't using Spider-Man in movies. And they were using ancillary characters. Was it a case of they were threatening something and like Feige's like, okay, well, you can't use Spider-Man because the deal we have says you can't make a Spider-Man movie while we have this deal going on. So all we have to do is wait for the 3 movies, or not make 3 movies for a couple of years, let your rights revert back, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
It's not. That's how I thought it might have happened.
It's something interesting that happened there between the two, quite clearly, and all these studios, they're more apt to work with each other now. I mean, you look at it, you know, 3 years ago, everybody would have laughed at you saying Sony's going to come crawling to Marvel, but they did, so it's... And then Fox and Marvel are working together, exchanging characters and TV rights and all that, so everything's kind of shaping up, and I'm assuming it's a lot easier to work out, you know, like Venom in the MCU than it is to exchange characters with Fox, because, well, Fox and Marvel are still, like, literally bad blood intensified, so it's it's what it is.
20 years from now, this would be like a documentary, and it'd be like Feige's Infinity.
Yes! Biopic?
I'm still waiting for the Josh Trank Fantastic Four documentary. That's something I really want to watch.
Just watch any movie where people get high on coke.
I'm sure. I don't know. I didn't know what to believe really in all that. So I'd really hope somebody would make a documentary and get really into the details and stuff, because it'd be interesting. Really happened? What was more of a smokescreen?
Here's what you do, right? You go up to Kate Mara, ask if it's true she did shit herself. If she says no, then you know it didn't happen.
I wonder what she's up to.
If she slaps you, then clearly it did.
I'm gonna look up what she's been up to. I thought she should have, like, Michael B. Jordan. Of course, I knew he deserved better movies. Of course, he's a Black Panther now, but he did way better movies. I thought out of the other ones, Kate Mara should have been the second one out of the four that was like, okay, she's pretty good. Like, she's been in some good stuff that she deserved to be in other good stuff, but I don't think she's really done a lot. Like, I know, Miles Teller, like, he's not really been in good movies. He also just got arrested for public intoxication, so that kind of sucks for him. And then the other guy, Jamie Bell, was really, I don't think he hasn't made anything, like, any noise, so he's probably not doing anything now. But look, Kate Mara was in, of course, House of Cards. She was in, what was it, The Martian. It doesn't help that she was in Transcendence, that weird movie that I think Christopher Nolan's, director of photography directed.
What I've realized is if you've been in a Fantastic Four movie and you're a female, you die right after the series ends. I mean, what happened to Jessica Alba?
I don't know, man.
Wasn't Sin City after that movie?
Yeah, but that's not a good thing. Because that movie flopped,
didn't it? It was still, she at least did a movie.